You're watching CNN Money Switzerland, and as part of our inspirational summer series, we're looking at megatrends and how they've been impacted by coronavirus. Today, we're digging into digitalization, and it's my great pleasure to welcome Chief Product Officer for Neon, Patric Ammann. Thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
We've all heard of N2026 Revolut, but Neon is not so familiar on an international scale. How do you compare with these bigger challenger banks?
I mean, of course, we're not as old and as funded and large as they are. So we are a Swiss-focused kind of neo-challenger bank, focusing purely on the Swiss market. We differentiate in the way our products is built. We have some very specific Swiss features that others do not, simply because the Swiss payments industry is a bit different. You have e-bills, you have the QR bills, some very specific stuff that international competitors do not have.
So you see a lot of sense in staying in Switzerland right now?
Absolutely, yes. Our operating model and our case and the way we target the market is currently focusing purely on the Swiss market.
But do you have international aspirations at all?
Not for now, no.
Okay, so 30,000 plus users here in Switzerland. How do you expand then within that market?
Well, we believe there's a lot of potential to expand within Switzerland. I mean, you have roughly 8 million people in Switzerland, a very high percentage of bankable people, a lot of potential in the way that, it's from our perspective, it's an untapped market in terms of digital banking solutions. Switzerland is, in my belief, much more behind than countries like the UK, like Germany, where you have large fintechs that have been operating for many years. So there's a lot of potential to introduce innovative products and to convince people that actually they can move away from traditional banks to a more modern and also, for example, more attractive offering price-wise.
How convinced are the Swiss people about digital banking then? Do you have a lot of work to do to change this mindset?
We do have a lot of customer feedback questions, a lot of discussions going around social media, emails, calls, and we see a lot of movement, people starting to realize the potential, people questioning the pricing schemes, the intransparency that traditional banks offer, and people really looking for innovative features that they see other countries have, but have not yet arrived in Switzerland.
And coronavirus must have kind of added to that momentum.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, as dramatic as Corona is, at least from a kind of growth perspective, it has had a positive impact on us. Clients opening up more accounts now, looking for digital solution, benefiting also from solutions like 24/7 account opening, where you just scan your ID, take a video chat, don't need to go into a branch anymore. So that really has an effect on us and of course supports our business model.
Just while we're on coronavirus, I mean, what kind of spending habits did that bring about within the Swiss people?
Very interesting to see. I mean, as expected, cash withdrawals, and that went down dramatically. On the other hand, what's interesting to see is that the number of transactions done, for example, with your card when you go to groceries, etc., declined, while the overall amount actually stayed the same, meaning that people didn't, do 10 purchases a day when they go to work and they spend money all over the place, but actually went to the grocery store once, for example, a week, and just made a big purchase at once.
Okay, and do you think some of these habits will stay with us post-coronavirus? I know we're not quite there yet, but...
Actually, we can already see a movement back to pre-corona times. So the effect was really temporary from what I've seen so far. I think people will increase their spending in the kind of using their credit card and reduce overall the amount of cash they use. There will be an effect, a lasting one, I believe. But in terms of size of spendings and whether they do it internationally or nationally, I think that will level out again over the couple next months.
All right, well, this international spending brings us to Transferwise, which you've recently partnered with. This allows international payments for people with a Neon account. I guess this means that you can play with the big boys like N26 and Revolut, but what does it actually mean for you?
It means a lot, actually. We're very proud that such a renowned, successful fintech is partnering up with us as actually the first player in Switzerland to introduce their offering also into the Swiss market. So this really brings us at eye level with competitors like N26 Revolut. We can offer kind of the same functionality at the same pricing, and at the same time also strengthen our competitiveness against traditional banks in Switzerland by offering very pricely attractive and transparent pricing. So it really kind of gave us a big push forward, and we're looking forward to continuing this expansion together with them.
Well, what other collaborations are on the horizon? You maybe can't give me details, but where are you looking to onboard other fintechs to expand?
Different areas. One is the product space, where we already are working with, for example, robo-advisors, with, for example, Smile, an insurance company, a digital one we just recently published. So on the one hand, of course, we're looking for partners in the product area, simply because we do not want to build all the products ourselves. Secondly, we're looking for, of course, also partners in the technology space, which can just provide innovative solutions, such as, for example, making the ID identification with the algorithms that identify your identity even smoother from a client perspective, etc. So really, both from a product perspective, where we promote, for example, products of partners, but also to just beef up our IT capabilities and technology we use.
What about developing tech outside of the retail space, though?
That's a good question. For the moment, we believe that there's still a lot of potential in the retail banking segment. So this will, remain our key focus for the coming months and probably also years. Of course, there's very interesting segments in the SME space, and also some interesting, approaches being tried out in other countries that we see from other banks or fintechs. But for now, we will probably stay strongly focused on the retail market.
When you look at the Swiss market and the disruption that you're part of here in Switzerland, how do you compare with others like Yapil and Zach?
That's also a question we get a lot from clients. What is the difference?
Yeah.
I mean, we're all trying to achieve the same, to bring innovative solutions to the Swiss market and to improve the customer experience and the banking experience that you get. It's a different setup. I mean, from the functionality-wise, we're all pretty much the same. There are some differences in pricing, and there are, from our perspective, strong differences in how you communicate with clients and the brand you build around it and the community you engage. So I think in the end, it's really going to be a play around who can engage their customers best, who can fulfill their needs, and also quickly implement all the solutions that your client base basically demands.
And you believe that you are actually disrupting traditional banking?
Absolutely. I mean, both with the pricing, we were the first ones in Switzerland to really cut down pricing for international payments with your card dramatically, basically down to zero, which then was also seen in the report of Kassensturz when they compared us to Revolut and N26 and saw that we're on top as they are. But also by integrating innovative solutions like Transferwise, we are again number one in actually offering, very, very attractive international payments, where at other banks you would pay 2 to 5 times more than you do with Neon.
But when it comes to market share, 30,000 is, very small in comparison to the potential that's out there.
Yes.
Where do you see yourselves in 5 to 10 years?
We definitely aim to become the largest mobile banking provider in Switzerland. I think it will have to be above 100,000 clients for sure. I think, as you can see, Revolut, N26 and others publishing numbers, they already have a large client base, or at least claim to have a large base, which means that, the demand is here. Now it's just a question of convincing Swiss clients actually to either move from traditional banks to Neon, or to basically see us as a good Swiss alternative to the, Revolut and N26 account they already have. Do
they have to do that though, or will you work with more traditional banks in the future?
I'm not sure if we will be working with more banks. I mean, we do have a partner bank in the background, Hypothekarbank Lenzburg. So all the basic, banking functionality we need, such as holding an account, access to international and Swiss payment, infrastructure, etc., that is already given. So we're more looking for cooperations, probably with fintechs, simply because they have, very similar communities and clients. They have same aspirations. They also want to transform the market, and they're able to, launch new products very quickly, which is great if you want to form a collaboration and bring new stuff to the market together.
One of the key issues that everyone is concerned about right now is data protection. Mm-hmm. How much of your time do you spend worrying about cybersecurity?
I mean, cybersecurity is always a big topic for any company, not just in the banking industry. I mean, of course, it's more sensitive in the banking industry, but I mean, we're worried as any other bank would be worried. I mean, we have a absolutely state-of-the-art security infrastructure. We work with a bank that has the highest standards, which is also supervised by the Swiss Financial Markets Authority. So the way we have built Neon is fully compliant and also at the level of all the security standards that you would have in the market.
Is it a concern though for your clients?
It is a concern in the way that they are now, for example, with the bankruptcy of Wirecard or some scandals that have been in the media around some, some instances at Revolut or other players where they start to question, is my money maybe more safe if I keep it at the Swiss bank account rather than abroad? Or is it okay? Is it better to have my money, my data actually stored in Switzerland versus abroad? So these are the things they're questioning. And of course we're interacting with, but not in terms of security, in terms of someone stealing your money from your account.
And just on Revolut and N26, they've often come under criticism for expanding too quickly. Mm-hmm. Is that a concern for you?
No, at least not yet. I mean, yes, there has been criticism about especially the customer support area. So far we've been managed to scale up very nicely with the headcount that we have. We're still below 20 people, and we still managed, to answer all the customer questions within a few hours to 1 to 2 days max. And we also have our partner bank taking some part of the customer support, mainly the phone support. So we're split, partnering up, and so far we have been able to, really fulfill all the needs clients have. Of course, if we now jumped overnight to 100,000 clients, we would have to beef up headcount and capabilities. But at the rate we're increasing, we are fully able to manage that for the moment.
All right, Patric, Ammann, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you for having me.
All right, well, you can catch up with all our digitalization content by checking out our website. cnnmoney.ch has all our inspirational series, which covers the megatrends affected by coronavirus. And of course, you can follow us as well on social media. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Bye-bye.